Harry's Wife, Part 100.30. The No Contact Cambridges. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I make it abundantly clear through my vast repository of work that the thing that you must always do when you become aware that you're dealing with a narcissist is to implement a no-contact regime. The first golden rule of freedom dictates, once you know, you go, you get out and you stay out. Many people, of course, complain that they're not able to do that, but often emotional thinking is getting in the way, preventing them from behaving logically, causing them to be anxious or fearful, nostalgic or even guilty for taking that step. There are, of course, instances where total no contact cannot be achieved as a consequence of co-parenting. But by accessing my How to Co-Parent with a Narcissist, you'll actually be guided to be demonstrated that you can, in certain instances, even where you have children with a narcissist, implement a total no-contact regime, worth accessing and advancing. Furthermore, there are other instances where you might think that you can't do it because of work, because of familial concerns, and actually you can. And my various assistance packages, as mentioned, How to Co-Parent with a Narcissist, How to Handle a Narcissist at Work, How to Handle a Parental Narcissist, which is equally applicable to an adult child who's a narcissist or a sibling, or other family members who are narcissists. Utilize all of those. We hate no contact. By staying away from us, you don't give us any fuel, which is our lifeblood. By ignoring us, walking away, not responding to our overtures, you are basically signalling to us that we don't matter, that we are unimportant. This hurts us. It wounds. It burns. Naturally, our narcissism comes to our defense and causes us to deal with it in a particular way by motivating us through feelings and thoughts, whatever they might be, to take action to assert control over you, either directly, indirectly, or by moving to a position of withdrawal, passive or active withdrawal. So the situation is remedied, and we seek fuel, perhaps from you or from elsewhere, in order to ensure that we get what we need to protect ourselves. But from your point of view, no contact is the go-to response because it means you're not giving us any fuel. Therefore, you're winning. It also means that you won't suffer any adverse consequences. You're not being punched in the face or called bad names or made frustrated because you're not getting particular answers. And therefore, in those circumstances, it means that you're not being further abused. It gives you time to recover from the abuse that you've experienced. It also means that you reduce the risks of being hoovered, and, of course, it reduces emotional thinking, the enemy within. No contact is not only hugely important for you as a victim of the narcissist, but also it really lands a blow on us. It wounds us. And the extent of the wounding depends upon the level of the nature of the interaction. Ignoring our text message wounds a little. Walking away from us in public wounds us massively. And there are varying differences in between. At the moment, Prince William and his wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, are in effect utilising a no-contact regime. Let's find out more about what they've been doing and what the impact of this would be. We turn to Marie Claire, which ordinarily would be reasonably favourable towards Harry's wife and Harry. The article by Rachel Birchfield states, Prince William and Kate Middleton are reportedly avoiding Prince Harry and Harry's wife when they visit the United Kingdom this week. The Sussexes are returning to the UK this week. Indeed, they're already here. Their first time back across the pond since June's Platinum Jubilee. And while in Prince Harry's home country, will stay at Frogmore Cottage, their home on the Queen's Windsor estate. Coincidentally, Prince William and Kate Middleton just moved into their new home on the Queen's Windsor estate, Adelaide Cottage, this weekend. Yet, despite the two homes only being a few minutes' drive from one another, according to multiple sources, the Cambridges and the Sussexes have no plans to meet up. And according to royal expert Christopher Anderson, speaking to US Weekly, they not only don't have plans to see one another, but the Cambridges are trying to avoid the Sussexes, he says. It's going to be interesting in the next few days when Harry and Harry's wife go to Europe, and they're going to be playing royal hide-and-seek, Anderson says. Harry and Harry's wife's schedule is pretty jam-packed. It includes visits to multiple countries, according to The Sun. The couple is due to arrive in the United Kingdom ahead of their visit to Manchester on Monday for the One Young World Summit. They'll head off to Germany for the Invictus Games Dusseldorf 2023 one-year-to-go event before returning to the UK for the Well Child Awards on September the 8th. According to Anderson, the first leg of Harry and Harry's wife's visit, William and Kate will still be with the Queen at Balmoral, her summer home in Scotland. But by the end of the visit, William and Kate will be back in town. Their 3 children, Prince George, Prince Charlotte and Prince Louis, start school at Lamborough on September the 8th. Right now, the Cambridges have gone to Balmoral Castle and Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla are there, Anderson says. They're out of the way during the first part of the Sussexes' trip to Britain, but on September the 8th, the Sussexes return to Britain from Germany. They're going to be literally a brief stroll away from each other on the grounds of Windsor, because the Cambridges have to return in time to get their kids in school. The main point of contention between the couples at the moment seems to be Harry's forthcoming memoir, with its contents largely, if not completely unknown to members of the royal family. It's going to have all the markings of an old-fashioned farce with these people trying to avoid each other, Anderson says. Puts me in mind of episodes that people have remarked upon from 70s sitcoms that I know older members of my family have referenced. I think Terry and June being one where he's got Japanese neighbours coming around, but oh no, his boss hates the Japanese, and much hilarity ensues as he has to keep the two of them apart. I think that's what Mr. Anderson is referencing. They don't want to see each other, the article continues, because everybody's worried about the Duke of Sussex's upcoming memoir. Harry's book is going to be loaded with, obviously, bombshells. Until more is known about what's in the book, William and Kate seem keen to keep their distance, Anderson says. I would imagine almost anything is going to disturb them, he says. I don't think they want to talk to them until they've seen it. What the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are doing is implementing a no-contact regime. They may not be au fait with the concept of fuel. However, they are going to, as non-intimate secondary sources in the fuel matrix of Harry's wife, starve her of that. That's not going to be a major problem for her. She will, of course, be obtaining fuel from other appliances within the fuel matrix. It will, of course, threaten her sense of control, because she believes that everybody should come and see her and worship at the altar of St. Harry's wife of merchandising. Naturally, the fact that they don't want anything to do with her will wound, and in order to deal with that wounding, she will no doubt issue a pity play to Prince Harry about how she can't understand why they don't want anything to do with them. After all, I was the one that was hurt by what Kate has done, and she has the sheer audacity of not having anything to do with us and playing the victim herself. She's horrible. And of course, Prince Harry, dimwit and, of course, obscured in his own emotional thinking, will continue to fail to see what's going on. It, of course, enables the Cambridges to avoid adverse consequences, namely having to put up with Harry's wife's horrible and pleasant behaviour, which no doubt turns their stomachs, but also protects them in terms of preventing that nothing that is said can be passed on. If you don't talk to Harry's wife, it can't find itself in a Netflix documentary. Naturally, this is two brothers being kept apart as a consequence of Harry's wife's behaviours, two brothers who were once very close. But ultimately, that is one of the consequences of a member of your family being involved with the narcissist. You may well have to cut away the person that was ensnared by them as their intimate partner primary source in order to preserve your own sanity. Accordingly, with Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge adopting this approach, which is effectively no contact, they save themselves the aggravation of being involved with the gruesome twosome, whilst getting on with their own matters, and, of course, sending some wounding Harry's wife's way. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.